today is Sunday, so technically my 40-week training plan was over yesterday on Saturday. I was gonna do a trial run doing my half marathon as fast as I can, but still leave enough in the tank to run a second half marathon. The reason I do that is to test my speed, to see how fast I can run, and from there kind of project what my full marathon would be. Half marathon is easier to recover from instead of a full marathon distance. So by doing the half marathon test, it gives me a pretty good gauge, but at the same time, it doesn't burn me out in a way that it will set me back several days of recovery time. So today will be a trial run to see how fast I can run for half marathon distance. Still have more in the tank for the second half. This will give me a good idea what I need to focus on in phase 3 of my marathon training plan. To be honest, I wasn't planning in phase 3, but it works out. This is the breakdown lap by lap. My fastest pace was 8-minute mile. My slowest pace was 10-16-minute mile, average to 9-15-minute pace. My average heart rate was in zone 3, 153 beats per minute. And I did creep up to zone 4, but it's only by 1 or 2 beats per minute for the most part. And then it crept back down very, very quickly. Even though my pace is nowhere near my 703-minute pace, my target heart rate, being able to maintain zone 3 throughout the run and have enough tank to run longer distance, I achieved my goal in terms of being able to run at a low heart rate. I still have a lot to work yet to achieve a faster pace, but I'm more concerned about dialing the process, dialing the cadence, dialing the heart rate, and then build up the speed later into phase 3. If you look at the breakdown of the run, I was able to achieve 8-minute mile well within zone 3 throughout the run. Even when I slowed down, my heart rate also slowed down along with it. So at a very low heart rate in zone 3, I was able to achieve 8 to 10-minute mile pace. This is slow to most, but it is a great improvement for me because I used to take a lot more effort to achieve the same pace. If you look at my first half marathon, look at the heart rate, 165, 167. I was pretty much redlining throughout zone 4 and sometimes zone 5 just to hit the 9:25-minute pace. And I was pretty much redlining all the way through, exhausted myself out, and end up having to walk the last part of the mile. If you look at my first marathon, I start off in zone 2, but my pace was a 10-minute pace throughout. And then around mile 10, that's when my lower body started to give out on me. My knee, my heel, my hip flexor, pretty much every part of my lower body gave up. So I started to jog, and then after mile 14, that's when I started to walk. So the heart rate was fairly low, not because I was efficient, it was just because I was walking from mile 14 all the way through mile 26. If you look at half a marathon from last year, I start out at a pretty good pace of 8:46-minute mile, but I was in the upper zone 4. I was in the upper zone 3 into zone 4 for the majority of the first 4 miles. And then I got exhausted and slowed down to zone 4, but my pace also slowed down with it as well. And you see a lot of ups and downs with my heart rate along with the pace. If you look at the test run that I did on Sunday, the end of my 40-week training plan, even though I did not achieve the pace that I wanted to achieve, I mission accomplished in terms of getting my heart rate stable, controlling my heart rate, controlling my breathing, and still getting a pretty respectable pace for how I used to run. And on this screen, it shows a summary of my last 3 official races and my trial run. If you look at the summary, it can be deceiving. It doesn't look like I made much impact or improvement to with a 9:15-minute pace versus 9:21-minute pace and an average heart rate of 153 versus 156. But when you look at the graph, it was a great improvement because I was able to maintain a much more steady heart rate throughout the run. and it's not an up and down yo-yo effect.